Jonah Jonathan, and welcome once again to the Jazz Musician's Voice. I'm doing an interview today with the great jazz pianist Benito Gonzalez. I first spoke with him back in 2013. He's a fantastic musician from Venezuela. He's since established himself as a worldwide jazz pianist. Wonderful musician. I had him on my senior recital at William Patterson, and we both marveled that Mulgrew Miller was there. He's a fantastic player. Believe it or not, his upcoming record is incredible. He's got Jeff Teen Watts on it, and Christian McBride, and the Who's Who, young Josh Evans as a trumpet player, and I believe the great Nicholas Payton. In any regard, Benito Gonzalez is certainly someone to check out. He's also a Steinway piano artist, and he talks about that. He's endorsed by Steinway Pianos. So thanks for watching this interview. Please subscribe, like this video, share it with your friends, and stay tuned because we have a lot more future interviews coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm speaking with Benito Gonzalez, a great friend of mine I've known for now almost 12, 13 years since I was in New York,
That's right.
And we played together many times, and then I had you on my recital, and
that was quite an experience, bro.
Yeah, and then since that point, you've gone really to astronomical lengths, especially as a keyboardist. You've been playing all over the world. Really one of the top musicians in jazz. And we did an interview back in 2013, but you actually, since that time, you've done a lot, And another thing that always struck me, Benito, is I remember when I first met you, you must have
been right.
Almost like 100 pounds heavier. You lost a lot of weight. You got yourself in really great shape, and you've kept it.
Oh yeah. It's just, I think it was about, I felt like I needed to get my health back,
Yeah.
And I had never been that heavy. I got heavy like that when I moved to New York from Washington D.C. So all it took was just a little discipline. I lost a lot of weight the first month. I remember I started working out. Then after that, it was very simple, and I kept it like this. Right now I'm on my very perfect weight for my size. So I try to keep it. I try to keep it healthy because we travel so much.
It's important. I'm sure that
and it's
the whole Mulgrew Miller thing.
It's difficult to be heavy and traveling and doing all these things. It's not easy. So for me, it makes me even feel better to play when I am lighter, when I feel fit. So
it's a physical instrument. Yeah. The piano is a physical instrument.
That's right.
And I remember we used to go, we'd be out at these sessions, and we used to go after, and we'd pass by the taco truck. I remember it would be you, me, and Charles Telleran, and
that's right, yeah.
That's a different time. I think
times change.
Times change, and also you see what happened with Mulgrew Miller. That was a big wake-up call for me. And then my father ended up having a stroke and health issues, and it really puts things in perspective. You want to get yourself healthy, especially as a musician.
Yeah, totally. I think it's a priority now, especially with this virus. And I hope nobody I know gets it anymore. But if this virus gets you on a bad shape, if you are not on your best, on health wise, if you are not on your best, this virus is deadly, bro.
Yeah.
So I think many reasons why many people died is because not just the virus, but probably because they were not so healthy. So, you know, it's like, I guess for many reasons, we should be like trying to stay healthy and eat healthy and, you know, have a regular exercising routine and all of that, you know.
I think a lot of that is extremely important, especially as a musician, because
Totally.
you know, when we're out and about traveling and stuff, like, oh, you can't find the right food, you might not be able to use a proper bathroom, like,
Oh yeah,
all of those things.
yeah, bro.
They influence, you know. I remember
Totally.
I remember even when I went to Mexico City, beautiful city, but like, I remember it wasn't healthy, you know, like the food that I was trying to eat, you know, it's maybe like the fried club food, you know, and because you don't want to get the salad because you don't want to get sick because you're traveling, you know.
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
But like, you know, you've been playing with some of the top names. I mean, you've always been playing with those guys, but like, you know, I mean, Kenny Garrett and Christian McBride, Antonio Sanchez, and, you know, so many different musicians. And I know that you're playing like globally. I mean, you come from Venezuela and you came to the United States, but I've seen you. You're off in Russia and you're off in Asia, and you go all over the place. Like, I mean, right now with the coronavirus epidemic, it's not happening as much, but like, you know, you went to Australia. Yeah. So talk about being a global artist, you know, and that aspect in your life, you know.
I think that, you know, through the years, the idea that we have of traveling changes a little bit. Because when I started traveling, I was excited. And I was like, man, this is so good. I am getting to travel the world, and I want to play piano and blah, blah, blah. But through the years now, for me, it's like a message. I'm trying to give a message, the message of music, my message, my own personal message that I have. And I am trying to like pull that out. Now, it's exciting to travel for sure, but sometimes it's difficult not to play, but like the traveling aspect is a little hard. But I am always excited to give them the message of music, like to, you know, sometimes you change people's life with like playing one song or one concert, you know. So I feel like through the years, that conception of traveling changes a little bit, at least for me, because now every time I get on the stage, I'm looking forward to give them that happiness and that message of the music that I play. So I'm still excited, but maybe sometimes my priority is more to give them the message even more than being selfish and thinking about just playing and feel happy because I am traveling. That really changed for sure. But now, you know, I'm happy. You know, I've been performing with Pharaoh Sanders for the last 2 years. And it's amazing to see the reaction of the people when we play off all those hits, you know, like we play Giant Steps, we play Naima, we play, you know, The Creator Has a Master Plan, all his hits. And man, it's like to see the happiness that he's giving to the crowd and that we are like channeling is amazing. So I think through the years, it has changed a little bit. And that's what I learned also from the masters, like, you know, like Jackie, you know, Kenny, Pharaoh Sanders, even Asa Lawrence, you know, all of them. So yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I think it changes through the years, for sure.
You know, traveling is like essentially you can do traveling through YouTube nowadays, and it's much easier than actually traveling, because the actualities of travel, a lot of people don't realize, like, you know, even just like the time zone difference, being able to find the food that you could eat that keeps you healthy, being able to, you know, being able to manage like traveling, like a story I never really spoke about, but one time I went to Egypt with my son and my family, you know, and we were supposed to travel on a train to Alexandria, on a train. And fortunately, my father had messed it up and didn't get the ticket in time, so we couldn't catch that train. Sure enough, the next day, we see it on CNN, and we're getting a call from Victoria, my son's mother, worried because the train had crashed and 60 people had died.
Oh,
so
jeez.
If we had caught that train, we might have been dead, you know? That's serious, you know?
Yeah, well, that's a blessing. I think that, you know, it wasn't your time, brother, and I am glad that you're still here.
You know,
I'm glad you're still here, bro.
I still show people sometimes, because I got the pictures of the train. We passed by it, and it's like
that's crazy.
It's like crunched together, and I'm like, wow, that could have been us, you know?
Yeah,
I guess two trains collided with each other.
Yeah, I've seen that in like pictures, yeah, or like accidents like that, yeah.
So like, you know, but when you're traveling also, like when you're doing the message of this music, that's very important. It's like a spiritual thing. You're passing the message on to future generations, you know.
That's right.
It's a very oral thing, and it's also an ear, you know. And that always struck me about you. Every time you sit down at the piano, after a few notes, we already know you're serious, you know. You're doing something, you know. Maybe we'll have you play something right now, like play something spontaneous if you feel like it, you know.
Sure. Let me see. I have a Fender Rhodes sound though.
It's still Benito Gonzalez. It's beautiful. I mean, you're absolutely a disciple of McCoy Tyner, you know. And
yeah, that's my hero, man. That's my hero. In fact, the reason I got the Steinway sponsor, it was because of him.
Yeah, I mean, like when it comes down to it, like I don't think there's anyone else in the world who could channel McCoy like you. You know, I mean.
Oh, thank you, bro. That's what they saying, but you know, I think that many people saying that, but I don't see it that way because, well, I feel comfortable playing that way. I feel like it's very natural for me, but I think that the mind frame that McCoy had, it was so huge, it was so open that I still have like you know, centuries to go to like really understand in depth the way he was playing and his approach. But I you know, I do my best, and I feel blessed because I got to meet him, man. I got to meet him.
Yeah.
Like I got to meet Mulgrew also, you know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't meet Kenny Kirkland. I would have loved to meet Kirkland, but I did meet McCoy, and he was very, very generous. He was very, very, very honest and very nice to me. So
I met him as well. I met him at I actually met him after a show at the Blue Note, and shook his hand, and you could just tell, you know, there's something about piano players, like when you shake their hand, you could tell the almost the spiritual aspect of them just by the
Yeah,
handshake.
yeah.
I remember meeting James Williams, the same thing, handshake. Mogen Miller, the handshake,
Right.
And I mean, now we're talking in COVID times, nobody shakes hands, but like you understand, like when you shake someone's hand, you understand them by that handshake, And
Totally.
I did an interview with Avery Sharp.
Oh yeah, I love
Actually,
him, man.
we were talking. It was when McCoy was still alive, and it was just about a year and a half ago, right before McCoy died, and he was saying, yeah, McCoy wasn't doing so well, but he lives on in the music. I mean, anytime you listen to any of that Coltrane, that stuff is gold, or Passion Dance, like on that whole record with Ron and Elvin Jones. I mean, the lockup of that, like, now, I mean,
You were, I remember you when you came out, man, and you still have that spirit. I mean, you have you grabbed a lot of spirituality in music. I remember when you started studying with Ron Carter.
Yeah.
I think that your sound back then was amazing. I haven't played with you in a while, but your sound was like, you had a big sound on the bass and a nice feel. I remember that,
it's absolutely.
But we all go through stuff, and sometimes. But I am sure you can get back to that.
Well, yeah, that's well, let's say my bass is right here, and I do practice, and I know that this is a time right now with coronavirus, like I've got some self-respect. I don't go out and play in the parks like some people do, I mean.
Right.
I did that. I put my time in with that, or playing in the subways.
Yes, I did. I didn't. I don't know if I did that, but I won't do that for sure, though.
But whenever I have that stuff that I've learned from Ron, and I pass it on to my students. The level of discipline,
right.
The level of discipline, and the things that he taught, that will forever live on, and.
Yeah, I heard he was very strict with his lessons, though.
Ron is very strict, and sometimes, I remember there was one lesson where he just had me playing a single octave B-flat major scale, the whole lesson with a metronome, until I got it right, and I had this thing, and so I even do that with my students now. Sometimes we got a piece of music, and I'll have them play 2 bars the whole lesson, just play it right.
That's right.
Because there's something about that, when you got someone like Ron, who's one of the most recorded bassists,
yeah, man,
to get that sound and to get that quality,
his tone is ridiculous, man. It's amazing.
Yeah. And he's a scientist with it. He's developed a sound that he likes, and for a while I used those black nylons. I know he's uses. I don't like that as much, but then I look at someone like David Wong. I would say like David Wong was probably one of his biggest proteges, because David studied with Ron at the same time as me. I would come in a lesson and David is just leaving, and
right.
He's always been kind to me, David, and he would say, "Oh yeah, you'll come along, see what it is." And then I see David, he's playing with like everyone. He's playing with the Vanguard Orchestra, and like. So Ron will pass and instill that knowledge on people. It's really up to that person, though, to take what he gives you and take it to that level,
Right. Totally.
So, for like the piano students, because we talked about this before a little bit, but like talk about your process of like transcription and like learning how to play tunes and like learning tunes, because I remember us talking, like you had less emphasis on the reading, more about your ear, which is perfect for this music because you really need to have an ear. So how did you develop that, and what would be your advice for younger students?
I think the biggest lesson I learned by playing with all these legends is that you have to develop your ear. You have to have a strong ear training, because really that's what you really need to like perform and create on the spot and create like your best and naturally, so it sounds natural. Because many people transcribe, and that's fine too, but it doesn't sound as natural as when you really playing from your heart and from whatever your heart wants, and for whatever your feelings are at this on the spot. So for me, ear training was a big deal, and I kept developing that by playing with these guys, and it's like, so my advice is that to practice ear training, like to listen to a lot of records, listen to the people that inspire you. Like, I don't know if you play drums, check out Elvin Jones, check out Tony Williams, Brian Blake, Jeff Watts, those kind of drummers. And, I'm trying to not just transcribe, but also understand where they come from spiritually, because they always have something, this message on their playing that they want to establish. They always want to like give you a message. That's what I try to grab when I listen to a piano player. I don't listen so much to the notes. I do, of course, but I listen to the message and why and where it comes from. So my advice is to the students is to check out not just the notes. Yes, the notes are important. We already know many of the notes. We know bebop, we know hard bop, blues, but where they come from and how they approach the improvisation and how they develop their solos. That's what I focus on when I give my students advices, or, just check the sound, get on the sound of the solo. The solo has an approach and a map. Go to check out the map and follow that and get on the sound. And that's for me, it's in my own process. It really helped me. And, to play with these masters for me now is like, it makes it simple for me because I develop my ear so strongly that, I can, my comping, I love comping. I love comping even more than soloing sometimes. I love, I love being a good companist, for whether it's horn, singers, or trumpet, anything. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel good when I open doors for the soloist, because I learned how to do that. I don't gonna give you one door so you can play. I give you a few options. So, that's the way I approach also my solos. I try to keep it open, like I try to have an open sound so I can have more options to go to different places. So that's my advice, to like ear training 100%. And keep transcribing too, but ear training for sure.
Yeah, that's really great stuff. I mean, I would suppose in the interest of time, if anybody wants to watch the original interview we did back in 2013, we talked about a lot more stuff, but I wanted you to talk about, you've got a new record coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about that. You got the lineup. It's an incredible lineup, so.
Yes, I have a new record coming out next year. By probably the summer will come out. And this is my best album to date, man. I'm very proud of that album. The album title is Sing to the World. And it features Nick Payton, Josh Evans on trumpets. And I have Christian McBride on bass, Jeff Ting Watts on drums, Sasha Mashin, great Russian drummer, also played drums. Esiet played one track, the opening track. Esiet plays it, and the album is all original music, which is, I feel very proud. It's all original music. We have 10 tracks. It's coming out on like early summer, maybe May, June. And the record label name is Rainy Days Record. It's from St. Petersburg, and I am very happy to work with them. They are amazing, bro.
Right.
So the album came out great. It's together. The music is tight. So I'm very excited. We have a great PR too, and it's gonna be amazing.
That's it's really great, and we actually have another one of my videos I had posted. You were on at. You're actually on a few of the videos on my channel. You're with Eric Wyatt on some stuff. There is one with you with Jerry Gibbs at Smalls.
Oh yeah. Playing McCoy.
Playing McCoy style. That's a great one too.
Yeah.
That video is popular. There's a lot of, and Steve Wilson is on that.
Mark Feldman on violin, I remember. Yeah. Steve Wilson is Esiet on bass.
For anyone watching this, like, people, if you're sleeping on Benito Gonzalez, you gotta get with the times. Like, Benito is one of the top pianists in the world. Incredible.
My man.
Yeah.
Man, it's good talking to you, man, because man, it's been a minute, and I'm glad to see you doing well, and I hope we can play once again once this shit is over.
Absolutely. People don't realize, but I learned a lot from like Mogru and Ron and stuff. I'm biding my time for when my debut record comes out. It hasn't come out yet.
That's right.
Yeah.
Margru was a huge influence on me in many ways, not just piano, but like his writing was amazing, bro. His writing and the way he used to like carry himself, it was so nice, I definitely miss him, and I saw him in like September that year when he passed, man. I think it was his last gigs at the Jazz Standard with Ivan Taylor and Rodney Green. I remember we spoke for like 2 hours, bro, after the gig.
Wow, yeah. It comes down to it, like that was such a challenging thing because I had finished school and I was so busy with other stuff, I hadn't been there, and then. When I basically found a call from his daughter, and I went to see him after the stroke in the hospital, and that was real tough. Kenny was there, and Dave Dempsey, and I met his brother Posey, beautiful character, and I got to speak at the funeral. It affected me a lot. It was very tough. That whole thing, I still remember it. I'm a gentleman that doesn't really cry much, but I remember I was in the car and I had hoped that it was not going to happen, and I remember hearing it on the radio, and the tears were coming. I was with Victoria, and my son was in the back who going to daycare. Found out about it. It's just it's too bad because. In a sense, that was one of the standard bearers of jazz, Mogru Miller.
Yes, it was.
You watch that interview I did with him. He's so inspiring and so encouraging, and We don't have many of those guys anymore, for this.
Right.
So, you and I both know that anybody who really knows this music, they know about, Mulgrew or Harold, or they're basically now the angels looking down on this music, incredible people. So Benito, keep up the good work. Thanks for speaking with us. People could check you out.
We always gonna keep trying the best, it's gonna get but better now, because there is so much to do in music still, for us. We are the new generation, many of the masters are leaving us, and it's sad. But we have to have and carry this torch,
Yeah.
And I feel like it's very important to create, especially in times like this, man, when it's so hard. We have to create.
Yeah.
We have to create art, make our voice heard, and create art, because that will really change people's, depression or anything that if they have, art is like amazing, it makes you feel better.
Yeah.
And we have to keep creating, it doesn't matter what happened, we're gonna keep creating.
Yeah, I tell you, in these times with coronavirus, I listen to music basically all day long. In my job, they let me listen to music. At home, I'm listening to music. Less TV, less of that.
Right.
More of music. Music gets you through. It inspires, And for the people who are watching this, if you aren't listening to music right now, you should. There's so much out there. Make a way to listen to music, because there's so much, and there's so many different genres of music, So people check him out at BenitoGonzalezMusic.com. Stay tuned for the upcoming record. Yeah, thank you, Benito, and I hope you send me an early copy of that record. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Oh, yeah. We're definitely going to get to that, for sure. We're going to get to that. I will send you the album, and, we're getting on the last stages now of the production. The music is ready, it's mastered, but, we're doing the artwork and, the liner notes and all of that. So it's getting done by now. So we should have some copies by mid-January. That's what I heard. So, but the album release will be in the summer.
Yeah.
But I will have copies in January. So, it's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity, and I am proud of that album. Is very strong. I love, I play with energy, and that album, it really reflects my approach to music,
Great,
so I'm very happy with that one, and also, I play Steinway, so I use Steinway for that recording merely.
A unique anecdote. Another piano player with the handshake, because I was talking about handshakes. The day that we found out about Mulgrew's stroke, I was with Onaja Allen Gums.
Oh, yeah.
We were actually driving together, and we drove past the Steinway place as we were talking about Mulgrew. Went and did the interview with him that day, and we're talking all about stroke and stuff. And sure enough, Onaja recently passed as well.
By stroke, though.
Yeah, for me, it's surreal. These people.
Oh, yeah, it's like crazy.
These people I would talk with and have conversations with, they're not there anymore. It could be dark. It could be lonely sometimes, because if I was going through a hard time or something, I would always Onaja or Mulgrew or.
No, I agree. I hear you.
You would call them up, and they were there.
Yeah, I mean this it's hard times. Wallace is gone, Margaret is gone, Kenny Kirkland left early, like in 1998. McCoy is gone. McCoy died this year on March 6th. We still have Herbie. We still have, Chick Corea.
Yeah.
But we still have Chucho Valdez. Those guys are my heroes, man. I look up to them.
Whatever people say, like Chick Corea is such a cool guy. I met him and he's so nice and inspiring. We did an interview and we talked about Mogru, and he was telling me he wrote a tune from Mogru. And
I'm sure.
Yeah, and Wallace Roney, I met him before at Tanglewood Jazz Festival when I was hanging with Mogru, and we still got Kenny Barron, still got.
He was a good friend with Margaret Wallace. They played with Tony Williams in the 80s.
Yeah.
That was a great band, bro.
Man, so thanks for speaking with us, Benito, and we'll have to do another one soon because you're so busy. We'll talk.
Of course, bro.
Talk
man,
again.
Anytime. Yeah. Let's do another one anytime, bro.
All right.
I'm glad you doing well, and thanks for keeping this channel alive. It's important for people to to listen what we do, and I think that you are a huge part of us, for us to communicate what we do.
Important,
Yeah, man.
No matter what goes on in other aspects of life,
Yeah.
Us as jazz musicians, we are like a brotherhood, sisterhood. We can be in touch with each other forever.
Right.
And I try to document that in the series that will be around long after I'm gone. It'll still be there. That's the important thing to do. So, Benito, we're going to talk a little bit about Steinway. Talk a little bit about how Steinway happened and the Steinway endorsement. That's quite a prestigious thing.
Oh yeah, man! It's an amazing thing because that's my favorite instrument to play ever since I started playing piano professionally. And I heard all my heroes playing Steinway, mainly McCoy. McCoy was a huge fan of like Steinway pianos, and then also Kenny Garrett loved Steinways, and Pharaoh Sanders is a favorite piano Steinway, like that we request Steinway on the writer for Pharaoh Sanders band right now. So I was thinking, this piano is my voice. It's my voice in my music. When I play Steinways, I feel so comfortable. It gave me so much sound. It's like it's amazing. And now that I didn't do it before because I was so busy traveling with my schedule. And but now this year, since we had nothing but time, I was sitting one day, I was like, why don't I just make, my application for a Steinway artist to see what happens? And sure enough, I got it, and I'm honored. Steinway, to be on the Steinway roster is like it's like being next to like all these piano heroes, like not just jazz, but like classical, it's amazing. It's like the Hall of Fame of piano. It's crazy. It's so amazing. So, I'm very proud to be an Steinway artist, really. And I hope we can do a lot of like collaborations, because they have great programs, and they promoting music, and music is life. Music is life. Is happiness. Is love.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to have that.
Really great.
Okay.
So yeah, Benito, talk to us more about Pharaoh Sanders. Talk about like getting that gig and working with him.
Oh yeah. I received a phone call from Pharaoh's manager. I remember I was at the gym in 2019. It was April 2019, and I think Pharaoh was looking for me. He was like, because he was looking for a new piano player, and I met Pharaoh when we recorded Kenny Garrett's sketches of MD live at the Iridium, because Pharaoh plays on that record. So, sure enough, I mean, he told me that he wanted me on his band since like that time, but I was, full time with Kenny. We were pretty busy. We had a traveling schedule, and Pharaoh, but he had Nat Reeves. Nat was on that record also, and Jonathan Blake, I think, then. So since like April last year, I got a phone call, and Anna, Pharaoh's manager, asked me if I was interested in playing with Pharaoh, and he said that if I was interested, I was like, you kidding me? He's like one of my music heroes. I listened to all these records with like Coltrane, like this record live in Seattle, Coltrane and Pharaoh, is like, I listen to that every day, and I had played with Pharaoh before because we recorded and then we play a few concerts with Kenny, and I felt very comfortable with his approach. He's like, he's always open on his music. He keep everything so open, and that's the way I approach also my piano. So the piano I play is like, I try to keep an open sound. So I guess we come from that same point of view in music. So I'm very happy to been working with him for the last 2 years, and I just wanted to make a little change in my in the people I play with, and I play with sax players a lot, as you know. I play with Jackie, with Kenny, Azar. I play with Mark Gross quite a bit, like all these great sax players. Now I play with Pharaoh, but I've been doing a lot of trio gigs. If I don't play with Pharaoh, I'm doing trios now, because that's what I am focusing on. But Pharaoh is like my definitely my gig, and I respect him so much, and I'm looking forward to do much more, because he is still doing great and he's playing great. We just did the Detroit Jazz Festival. We did it like online, like streaming. He plays so good. I mean, his playing is stronger like than ever, man. He's amazing. I don't know how he do it. He's 80 years old. So I'm glad to be there, and with all my respect, I love him and I love his playing, and I hope that we can do much more.
Great.